This is Shattered America. This is a tutorial game. Every other player at this point has quit other than us four. Me, AV, and Vegetable are in a coalition. That gaming guy we befriended because why killed and destroy everyone and everything, right? So we're all kind of in a little alliance, just doing our thing. I started at the top here. You can see I'm main. I was roughly about here when I started. So talk about forts, railroads, all that fun stuff. So I still don't have some of this stuff upgraded. I guess that was early on. I've kind of moved, pushed out. So you see I'm kind of building forts, topping them off here. Now, these are things I've learned as I've gone through the growing pains, and hopefully this helps and gives you guys some stuff to work with. So, when I was picking fights with my neighbors when I started, right? Going around, boom, 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 pushing whatever direction I could, right? What I noticed is there's a deficit in my resources that would turn red. This was very frustrating because then it's dropping morale. I can't build stuff as I'm developing, so on and so forth. So, in a location, you will notice various buildings you can upgrade. Click on this one. This unlocks cavalry, but although it unlocks cavalry, it gives you a 50% recruitment speed boost. It's very costly to run barracks. So I tend not to use them and shut them off, like so, because I was originally building them for that reason. Now, when you notice the significant change in your resource income, you'll probably start maybe doing the same thing. Like, let me see if I could find some I left on maybe, because I've been in a big war over here, so. Can't find that I have. I've pretty much opted out of barracks, to be honest with you, so I might not even have any left up. So anyway, you could shut recruiting office off. You could turn barracks off if you do prefer to run them. And then this should go up. Okay, that's one way to do it. Now, another way to do it is resources. Now, I know this is on PC, but mobile should work as the same. It just is a different avenue of how to adjust it. So let's say, oh, well, I want more grain. Boom. I just moved it a little bit, don't have to move it too much. Maybe a little bit more food. Something like that. See the differential? So you adjust these as you please, as you can. When you start off, I know it's kind of grindy, low resources. So that's recruiting, barracks a little bit. Let's talk about morale. This is typically a huge issue. If it's not at 100%, let's say it's at 50%, and I just pushed in a battle, and my guys are wounded, they need to be healed, filling in replacement soldiers is a good way to do it, because obviously you want fresh new troops consistently being produced. However, this issue is when these old guys, let's say I had, 100, 300, they need to heal. And the way they do that is the morale at 100% is going to be your best buff for healing, because that's basically how they heal. And then your daily reset. Every time this resets, they'll heal X amount, which I want to say it's like 10 to 15% roughly per daily reset. Now, if this was like 50%, that cuts that healing down. They still heal, but it's a lot more rough. I don't think oh yeah, build a 5 fort and a factory. I haven't built a factory here. I'm slacking, I know. Okay. So, as you push and develop, what I tend to do, let's see, forts build morale. Sorry, let me backtrack. Forts build morale. And if you're not sure, when you click on something, right, it actually will have a brief description. Hit points, resource production increase, morale development, unit production speed, the cost of, and your unlocks. So it kind of breaks that down. Some of these are a little easier to build. Factories obviously are good to build just because they in fact will buff up your resource. So see how there's some of these with singles, and then I got a double. So on the double, it actually will eventually produce much more than a single. See the difference? So if you have a decision based on your pushes, I would prioritize the double, but more resources, more built up, more income eventually turns into something ridiculous maybe, right? So keep that in mind. Don't not attack it just because it's 1. 2 is better, yes, but the higher the morale also will bring these numbers up, not just the doubles. I'll have to come back and mess with all that later. Okay. So what I typically do is, since I'm all the way over here now, I'll show you. I'll put all these guys in queue. I'll build a fort, railroad, factory. I stay away from the barracks. Because, I mean, look at, I got plenty of territory to build and pump out units. I don't really need to stress about that. So, I'm moving these guys up here to the front. So you see this is kind of my front line here. I got my Navy out here on this side on the west coast. Got a couple backups running around here. Navy to help support these islands. Not as large, obviously, but... And I got some naval ships up around here, some submarines and stuff. So... you want to make sure you cover your back door. That's kind of why the Navy's out there. Significant, so I just showed you that. So, I don't like airplanes because they're squishy. They take a lot of damage in a big fight. They're expensive to build. They go down. What I like the most, what I find the biggest bang for my buck is, and has been, is artillery, the railguns, and heavy tanks. Those are my mains that I prioritize, right? Now, these guys can't move up closer because there's no railroads here. So I am developing some of these, morale 90, 90, or 73. So, some of these guys are healing now, but find someone that's battle-torn. Like, this guy's really jacked up, right? About halfway. His current territory is at 56 morale. No bueno, right? No good. So, I have to kind of chill here. I want backup. So what I do is I send in artillery, which I think he's just attacking him. Because it's defensive, actually. So, he's kind of sending the rain, right? Boom, boom, boom. So, I'll send in the artillery. I force them to make a decision. Come out and fight, or sit back and take it. Now, here's the downside to this strategy. It demolishes the territories. I mean, these turn into basically red, destroyed. There's not a lot there. So, the good news is I have the resources and means just to, like, pump up a whole new setup. So, essentially, what I do is I build completely almost from scratch a lot of times, which is time consuming. Like this is, see, it's kind of tore up from my Navy. So I don't see it as being a big issue. I'm still moving forward and taking lower casualties. If this changes to the point I really have to worry about it, I'm going to come back to some of these guys, which this is all over the place, and start turning off some recruiting stations. Now, you notice some of these different lines. I have a rally point set. So, what I typically do is set up a rally point, and I'll have my main front line, and then I have QRF. So, like, there's not a lot of men, but in case something happens, and let's say they have a crazy counterattack. Maybe I don't use spies when I'm going in, and they decide, you know, they have heavier men than I thought, and I'm actually losing that push. What I'll do is I'll have the QRF on standby. So, like, let's say, for example, this guy looks like he's got some extra men here I could use. So, I'll go here, I'll split it, and I'll rush them into a specific area where they might be needed. And I'll have a couple of those depending on how big the front is. This front was like all this area, but my allies jumped in and helped. And Now we're kind of pushing. So that's what I like to do. I mean, there's different ways. QRF stands for Quick Reaction Force. And these guys are just backups. I'm pushing up to the front. Like, this guy's a little bit lower, so I want to feed some of the weaker elements men. Tanks are really potent. I mean, I've got probably a couple hundred out here. Split up. 12 there. 7 there. Big boy unit. 51 there. I mean, I got, I'd say maybe 150, 200. So, when I'm pushing this front, these are going to be my weaker morale spots, so they're not obviously going to be the best, which is why I kind of leave some of my guys behind so they can heal. And then I got the artillery for defensive and offensive. So as they push in, artillery will help melt them as they're out of the fort and not protected. But the biggest thing is when you see these tier 4 and 5, they start getting where you can't see the men. You know, maybe I do want to put a spy. No spies, go here. Spies. Recruits 20, but you can do intelligence, economical sabotage, military sabotage. I just want intelligence. Yeah, boom. Recruit. And now on your dailies is when it actually reports. So it's not an instant thing. Got an active spy here. If I want to see what's going on, I can click here. Instant action. I don't want it. So like some of these have different, I think I still have spies over there in Missouri that I didn't mean to have. Yeah. So this will give you basically what it looks like, but it'll turn into something like this. You'll see all this, the resources they have, what they're working with, etc. And a lot of times the unit size. I stopped doing spies, they're kind of pricey, but my strategy with send the artillery in, force them to make a decision, and then I respond as an S. I need to put men over there. I just realized I have a free area just chilling. Let's do about 160. Fine. So I send a smaller contingent just to kind of see what they're going to do, because sometimes they'll actually send men in to counterattack and retaliate. But to keep losses low, where they're healing, I have slowed down my aggressive pushes. I was kind of just trying to go full speed ahead, blitz mentality, you know, something like that. Artillery hits them. That's what I just did here on these spots. You see my Navy did that spot. And I'm just slowly taking away his territory and his resources. So even if he keeps pumping out units and building up, my setup is designed where the front push is just kind of like a tester, like, hey, what's going on? What are you going to do? And you'll kind of be able to read what their strategy is going to be, because they're going to slowly be building up and, you know, be able to have a more advanced counterattack. As fast as possible is usually pretty ideal, but it can be a little bit slower in case you want to be more methodical about it. Why is this guy just chilling? Oh, the railroad got destroyed. That's right. I gotta fix the railroad. He's just stuck. Okay, no big deal. They can be defensive. And so, QRF can be any amount of distance. I mean, I try to keep it closer. So on a push, I just send them right up to help support or defend. This side actually needs more troops. Got a couple of QRFs here. Send him there. He's got some extra. Let me do this. Try to send like a little bit. I mean, you could send more or less depending on how you feel. Get him some more support up there. I don't remember where some of these spots were at, but I kind of already pre-set some of these. I need to go readjust it, but rally point, maybe I'll pick close to the front. Let me go here. Boom. So you'll basically pick a territory, and there should be the rally point. I think on mobile it's under more. This one doesn't have it, but I'll hit this, and you see there's a line, so all the units with the rally point will automatically spawn and go right to that location, so you don't have to go back, and it kind of helps you stay on a couple times a day and not be on all day long watching. rally points. Send them... Go up here. Something like that. I'll send like maybe 3 to 5. They'll spawn the excess men over here. So that'll grow a little bit faster. Capitals, so you see my capital is here. So the significance of the capital is basically morale. The distance to capital helps the front line. So you want it close, but not too close. And you could keep building your capital. That's where all the names are, is the capitals. So as I keep pushing, I mean, obviously it was up here, and I just kept kind of moving it all the way to where this is the front. I'm probably going to move it up a little bit. Where's a good spot? Actually, it's already built up. See, I'm not even messing with barracks anymore. Pop him on Q. He should actually just automatically build. Maybe not. There it goes. I'm not even, like, I don't even care what capital, city, town, whatever territory. I just want it close to the front line so they heal. Alright, so you see I just took it. It's already building something. That's tier 5. So what I want to do now is, that's 5 seconds. I'll slap him in. 16 minutes. And then I'll hold on the factory. I want an aerodrome and I want a railroad. So I'm kind of pushing some of my unit bonuses to actually get in there a little bit. That looks empty. It's kind of questionable, but I have the men, so 220. Cut these in half ish. Send in a plan. Let's send all 5 in. That might be a ruse. There might actually be men there, but I'm gonna send those guys in anyway. And he's gonna take there, so I'm gonna wait, but I'll re-support him with those guys. And I have a lot of men. A couple thousand. On my ally side. So as they continue to push, I don't know why he's not trying. No, that's why. A bigger unit there. He's trying to come around. Go. So basically it's kind of a slow roast as I'm knocking some of these guys down. Taking out a little bit at a time, because for some reason they'll just keep sending small contingents in hopes of maybe doing something, but with a slower push, it's more safe strategically, watching your rear. So I got a little staging spot here. There's a decent amount of man. I got staging spots over here, so I can support if for some reason there's a navy of some sort sent around or something like that, which I doubt, but I want to be in the habit of keeping this secure and well defended. But I think that's pretty much it. My strategies, what worked for me. It was like a 43 person game. I came out strong out the gate with expansion theory. The more territory you own, the more build-up you can do, the more resources. Inevitably, you will beat all the competition for various reasons. They don't have enough resources, they're not doing things as efficiently, and once you start getting the bigger, better units, you can start sending them in to help expedite that process. But at this point, we're just sitting back, 1397 out of 1500. I mean, we're just slowly taking the map. He's actually fighting this guy now. Buffalo. North Wyoming. I think he's good, though. So me and Vegetable have pretty much been doing a lot of the pushing. I don't know, AV's AFK. I think he's building up some troops. Something like that. Not gonna show everything, but we've slowly been working our way to victory. And I went from being on a couple times a day to maybe like once a day. I mean, not worried about being overthrown. Even if for some reason I get attacked, assaulted. At this point, the way I have my defenses set up, tier 5 forts, I think I'm pretty good. Even though this guy's got a decent size going on. But, hope you liked it, hope you enjoyed. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Good luck, happy hunting. Till next